Let's continue our speed run of books I've been wanting to cover the last couple of months that I probably now will not get a chance to get to. Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet. If you know, you know. A young poet wrote to Rilke, and Rilke just kept answering him over the years. And it's beautiful about art and how you do these things and meditations on life, as you can imagine. A wonderful piece of work from the Poet of Solitude, he was called. Oh, another Robert Johnson from part one. This is Transformation, Understanding the Three Levels of Masculine Consciousness. This was also a very helpful book for me. Robert Johnson is a great one, writing these thin, powerful little books on psychology of genders and psychology in general. Generally from a Jungian aspect, but he has his ways. Okay, this one's just for me. Designed for Church Growth, Charles Chaney and Ron Lewis. I actually found this on a road trip. We're doing a psychoactive open mic storytelling tour called the Blue Dot Tour, where we ended up with my first child. But I also came up with the idea of the Church of Why Not. And I've always wanted to start the Church of Why Not. So I saw this on Church Growth, and I actually studied through the whole thing. Labyrinths by Borges. If you haven't read this, Borges, I think, is one of the most important and intriguing writers of the last century, and just such a brilliant mind, and everything he wrote is short. He said that if I wanted to write a novel, I would just write a review of the novel I would have written, because he is just bursting over with ideas, and this is one of his most important collections. So if you wanted to start with Borges, because you keep hearing his name, Labyrinths is the way to go. Mask of the Illuminati by Robert Anton Wilson, another genius, and this is the continuation of the rollicking cosmic mystery that began in the Illuminatus trilogy. So the Illuminatus trilogy is a great, giant shaggy dog about all of the conspiracy theories and all of them being true and even more intricate. And Robert Anton Wilson is one of those people he has this Irish sense of humor about him, so he sees how dark the world is, but he also turns into something really funny. So for the history of the occult and secret societies and conspiracies, this is a great piece of work. Very funny and enlightening too. All right, so return this to my wife. The Family Crucible, the intense experience of family therapy. I didn't know much about family therapy. This has me convinced when the kids are a little bit older, I would love to do this together. It is a very powerful technique. They usually have two therapists in the room, and it's like a dance. They generally try to even pull in extended family members sometimes. So this is by Napier and Whitaker, the two guys who invented it. If your family's having difficulties between yourselves, or it's you're having a kid with difficulties, it's often because of problems between the parents. And it's not the kid's fault. They're just acting out for the parents. The Crucible is a really good word for this. It was an amazing piece of work. Let's do one more. Mutants and Mystics, Science Fiction, Superhero Comics, and the Paranormal by Jeffrey Kripal. One of the best writers on the supernormal, and he's a professor at Rice. And so this is looking at comic books and the supernormal and how that comes out in American society. An amazing piece of work.